Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the live episode of Let's Talk About Market. That is episode number 92. In fact, we see today then there was a weak closing, and it was a mixed market actually. Uh, some of the sectors did very badly, but at the same time, small and the micro caps did very well. So we saw a little bit of divergent move, but given that today was the weekly close, so it would be interesting to talk about how the weekly close has been and what's the market like prior to the, before getting into the budget. So let's talk about it. Let me quickly share my screen. Once you all are able to see my screen, please let me know, so that we can get started. Please let me know in the comment box once you all are able to hear me properly and see the screen as well. Just get the mic near me. Are you all able to hear me properly or see my screen? Please put a comment, so that we can get started. I often ask for that confirmation because in the past I've done some goof up, so just want to ensure. Okay, thanks for the confirmation. So yeah, see the Nifty index. Basically, it has turned sideways over here. One thing, if you all might be aware that this was the breakdown point from where we had corrected. So far, it seems like on the hourly chart, it is stuck in a range. Typically, if a bottom is made and a strong up move has to happen, then it does not consolidate over here. And if at all it is consolidating, I think it might take further more time to consolidate. But especially given that it's an event tomorrow, which is the budget event. Sorry, not tomorrow, but on Sunday. I will view this as a bit negative, uh, because see, what I'm trying to say is that if at all the corrections happen, okay, like you see over here, if at all the correction has happened, you sort of get a kind of a v-shaped move. If it has to rise higher, the moment it starts consolidating or doing something like this, okay, then there is always a risk that you see of a correction. So whether that risk is there or not, I don't know. But broadly, if I would tend to think that given that this zone is not broken decisively, uh, I'll feel that, is this kind of a flag pattern that it is trying to form or what? That will be the initial thought that would come to my mind. And if it is a flag pattern, then it usually would go in the direction of the trend. And so far, we are seeing the trend direction is down. Okay. So this is the first thing. So not a very good picture as of now, but things can change materially if at all it manages to close above the daily averages, and then eventually if it manages to break above the 61.8% retracement. Okay. uh, Now, the reason why I also say that this with some bit of skepticism is because, if you see the sentiment indicators, so yesterday we saw that the Nifty index had risen higher, correct? But despite of that, yesterday FIR did see, they again went ahead and shorted a bit. And I think today is down day, so maybe they will go ahead and short further. Okay. And the other thing is that the swing had touched this 80 and it is falling now. One of the reasons why I am a bit worried about this as well is because, see, when we are in a downtrend, okay, which means that it is trending lower, so each time in the downtrend, whenever you see this reading around the 80 zone, it means that there's a sideways consolidation that was there and that is done, and then it may fall further, right? So can this be the case right now as well? I don't know. I am a little skeptical, and that's why I'm raising that flag. around this point, there were enough indicators to suggest that we could be heading towards the bottom in the near term. In the near term, meaning in next 1 week or so. It has almost been 5, 6, 7 trading sessions, and the Nifty has kind of held that low. So the job which the short term sentiment indicators were supposed to do, they have done that. And now many of the sentiment indicators are out from the oversold zone. And also you can see that the call minus histogram is also now almost negligible. Typically when you see this call minus put in red, that's where you think that okay, now there can be some signs of top in the near term. So that is not visible yet, but as I told you, I mean, now the next material signal will be if it goes down to these levels where this consolidation breaks on the downside, and it tests say somewhere around 24,600 or so. That's where it will be a material setup to look at. But at this point of time, the guys who might have tried for a pullback at this zone, the reversal level is basically the low. Okay, so if the low still holds on, then I would imagine that we might get some bit of slow move, then again rise higher, and you will see swing also behaving something like this, and eventually again making an attempt to go to 80 or 90. So in short, if I have to say that if you had long positions, maybe this low is a nice level to watch out for. Okay, I mean, if this does not break, then ideally then we should be inching higher. Firstly, towards the daily averages, which is say somewhere around you know daily averages, which is say somewhere around this 25,600, 700 mark. And then if that is broken, then the 61.8% retracement, that will be the level to watch out for. Now there are the reason why this week's closing is a bit mixed, because the Nifty index had broken above this channel, but it is now, sorry, it is now again hovering around the upper end of the channel. So not a very clear sign over here, but at the same time, bulls will take some hope from the fact that the 40 week has held, and the Nifty index has bounced back above the 40 week. Okay, so that's why I say that there is a bit of a mixed setup in the chart. So maybe I don't know what comes in budget. I don't know if that triggers something, but at this point of time, I mean, given there are high expectation of capital gains cuts and all those things. I don't know. I mean, this government is not that type of a government who may who will roll back their policies, because I mean, capital gains tax was just I think increased last year, and now again rolling back and all those things, tweaking them. I don't think this government is going to do, and I'm not sure if that is going to lead to disappointment in the market, and maybe lead to a correction or so. So that's why, I mean, I don't have any high hopes from the budget, because anyways what they have to do, they have done it outside the budget, like GST cut and so on. In fact, even posing taxes on cigarettes and all, I mean, these are all things that they normally do it in budget, but it seems, I mean, they seem to have done it, sorry, they seem to have done it out of the budget. So let's see. But some green shoots are that at least the small and the micro caps which were beaten out of shape, over there at least the pullback seems to be coming back. But again, I mean, these all index needs to break above the daily averages at least to even think of some sort of reversal. Until then, these will be in dumps. The biggest thing that has happened today is that as you all might be aware, that gold silver has crashed meaningfully today. So that has led to strong pullback in metals. Now I'm not sure whether this is top, this is not, and this is where, see, the tricky part is that when we are in momentum, it can just go on and on. So to be very honest, when silver was also rising higher, many people asked that, is this the end over here? When we saw a big decline, I think this decline was 7-8% in a day, and it fell. The thing was that the 40-day held, and eventually we saw massive move in silver. Okay, so that is why, when some trends are very strong, you need to respect it. Okay, I think such is the case with metal as well. Such is the case with metal as well, because if you see the metal chart, broadly it is trading above the hourly, daily averages. So yes, hourly averages might have been broken today. So this, if you're a very short term trader, maybe this might scare you. But if you're a slightly more positional trader, then the setup still looks, broadly okay. Nothing so bad to be worried about. But of course, you have to do risk management in these kind of volatile environment, and that is something basically, you need to be very very careful of. Maybe exit and again re-enter when there is some sort of trend, because there is a bit of a negative divergence that is now visible, on the RMI chart. You see this happening, right? So these are all basically risk management thing, that if it gives a sell crossover and it again goes back to zero line, and after that, once again when it starts moving, maybe that would be a more apt time to again start building position. This is, of course, this is just if you want to manage the volatility and don't want to see those, big moves that are happening right now. So you can take that as a risk of strategy. But yeah, I think broadly, if I have to see metals, the trend still appears to be up, and there are no signs of weakness that is visible yet. It's just that what is happening, around the market, and there has been such a big move in commodities recently, that has resulted in a natural pullback, and that is what we are kind of seeing right now. Okay, so that's on the metal side. And apart from that, one more thing, I think PSU Bank, this kind of is now getting a bit tired. So again, there are no signs of reversal yet. The only thing that is cautioning us a bit is this, right? The momentum is falling. There is a positive, there is a negative divergence over there. So can this fall? That is the risk over here. And apart from that, I don't know. Apart from that, whatever we have spoken all this while, those are the stuff that is happening. Even IT, there has been this consolidation that has happened. So see, anytime when the consolidation happens, okay, so every time after a fall, when there is a consolidation happens, there is a risk of it breaking on the downside. And I would tend to think that if the daily RMI goes into the bearish mode over here, okay, which it has started to move down, but if it gives a bearish crossover over here, then there is a risk that you end up seeing one more leg of decline, which means decline, consolidation, and again a decline. That is possible. So you need to be keeping an open mind to that. And see, largely, to be very honest, for me the action point would be, say, somewhere over here or somewhere over here. Again, this could have been an action point because all the short term indicators were in oversold zone, and from there basically we have got some 400 500 points kind of move from the bottom. I think that minor short-term trade has played out. Now, bigger trades will be either if the index, falls to these kind of levels, because this is where the medium-term support is, or if the Nifty index breaks above the high of 26,300, because that's where the medium to long-term resistance is, right? I think these are the point that you may want to act, which is basically either this or this. I mean, until then, it is just, you just try to play small, win some, lose some, and that is how the story might be. Until then, I think there are no material trends that you can really predict, apart from the fact that you can just stick with the outperformers when you feel like the markets is going up, and when you feel that the markets are going down, you have to kind of look at the underperformers, and that is how you may have to deal with the market right now. So I think these are the thoughts that I have at this point of time. I think nothing much changes from what we have spoken so far. So if you'll have any questions, maybe we'll try to address that. Uh, Anuj, no, Anuj. There will be no recording of Strike mobile application. I mean, that was just to take a feedback. Anuj says any news upon reduction of STT. Not reduction. I'm scared of they increasing the STT, because anyways they have, see, if you'll see the pattern of this government, you know it gives from one hand and it takes from the other hand. I mean, nothing against this government, but ideally what they are trying to do is that they might try to somehow tax the rich more, give freebies, and basically whatever money that they are collecting from the rich, or say from higher STT and all, they will try to sort of give back to the lower end of the pyramid, and maybe give some boost over there. I think broadly that is what they have done. So to your question, reduction of STT, no. I am worried whether they will increase the STT, because anyways there are this news that is going on, that FNO trading people are doing a lot. MTF book is gradually building up. So I'm not sure if they will try to attack that sort of section. And and even if I assume that they want to do something for long term, which means reduce taxes or exempt FIs, I mean, which is what people are saying, they will somehow try to get that thing compensated through increasing the STT for FNO or something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyways, like I told you, I don't have much high hopes for that. So let's see. Pramod says, when is the app launch? I missed the Zoom session. So, Pramod, broadly, we are planning to launch it by last week of Feb. Hopefully, I mean, it will go live in phases, but that is what the current plan is. Robin Hood government. Good term. But yeah, I mean, given the way the technical setup is, which is not looking bullish right now, I'm just worried whether, there are some, I mean, do we get some negative surprises from the government? So let's see. What is the likely range of budget day? So see, the broader range is kind of established over here at this point of time, which is like 25,500 and 25,000 zone on the downside. So it is like a 500 point, but it means nothing over here because that is 2%. Uh, and then, if this range is broken on either side, I mean, if it is broken on the upside, then the levels up to the daily averages and 61.8% retracement will open up. So the daily averages are currently now around 25, 650, 685 levels or so. So a move about 26, 400, 450 can lead to that sort of up move. Or if we break below the averages, then a down move towards 24, 600 to 24, 300 is very much possible. So be a little careful. Try not to trade, because there is a lot of volatility that is usually there around the budget day. And always remember that zero is better than minus. So rather than losing money, it's better if you stay calm and just try to digest what the government is thinking. Okay, maybe once we try to understand what they are thinking, we may get to know some understanding, or as to what is the likely path that they are going to take. And I think one of the very critical factor which everyone is actually looking at it is what's the fiscal deficit that the government is okay with. I mean, do they want to further contract it, or do they want to expand it, or do they want to keep it at same level? I think for everything there is a double argument. Like, I mean, if they want to improve the fiscal deficit, they would say that they would want to cut the expenditure, and that is bad for market. If they expand the deficit, then the market would say that FIs will get nervous and further uh, currency can go down. So I mean, it's an endless debate at this point of time, and no point of talking about that. We have to wait for the market reaction and how people are thinking about it, and then maybe try to take some view, because at this point of time, frankly, the market is stuck. It is kind of going nowhere. It is just making us slide here and there, and think that, oh, बहुत बढ़ जाएगा, बहुत कम हो जाएगा. But in actual terms, market is kind of doing nothing, and at least on the Nifty level, index level I'm talking about. I mean, in stocks, they are in their own zone, and mostly all stocks are getting butchered rather than rising higher, which is the fact. But yeah, we also need to consider that there is already very bad sentiment that is prevailing, and like I've been talking for quite some time. Do we bottom out from here and rise higher, or do we fall over here and maybe then bottom out? That is the question. That for that I still don't have any answer. I mean, there are outside chance that this resistance also breaks and we fall, but frankly, I am not into that camp, at least at this point of time. But yes, maybe if something happens like 24 300 400 gets broken decisively, then I'll be hell scared. So that's how I'm thinking at this point of time. Let's see. So, Srinivas, I already told metals the trend is bullish because it is so far trading about 20-40 day. So, but if you are a very short term trader, I mean, the risk in the metal index, at least in the near term, is that can it fall further and complete the RMI cycle? That is the risk that is there, because we are seeing some sort of negative divergence in RMI. So that is the risk in the near term. But I would tend to think that broadly from short to medium term perspective, as long as this breakout zone is protected, maybe you can have some correction, consolidation, whatever it is. But as long as it is trading above this breakout zone, we are all good. I mean, that is how I'm thinking at this point of time. So let's see how things unfold. Even I'm not too. I mean, even I'm skeptical because we all know that the gold and silver, the way that it has rallied, I mean, someday it has to end. Now, whether it takes down all other commodities or not needs to be seen. But let's see. I mean, as of now, I'm just going by the chart and not thinking much about it. And let's see where it goes. Market was down. Baburaj says market was down on budget day for past 3 consecutive years. Okay, so great. I mean, I did not know that. Yes, Rajan, mobile app looks really nice. Yes, thank you so much. We have tried to retain as much as we can from the web and give sort of a web-like experience. So that was the attempt. Chintamani says how to find strike, which Nifty stocks are close to completing the weekly cycle. So for that, maybe I don't know. I mean, you can just try and see which are the ones which are in sell, because if they have to try and complete the cycle, then it would mean that the ones which are in sell or new buy are the ones where you may want to see. Like, say for example, if this is sell, so you will have to check it each individually. At this point of time, we don't have any feature saying that this has completed the cycle. But anyways, even if the cycle is completed, you might just want to see which are the ones that are giving new buy. because that's where the momentum seems to be turning around, right? So I think the filter that might help you a lot is what's the weekly RMI, and you can then just simply click and find which is the one of your interest. I hope that answers your question. Any update on web features like valuation and so on? So I think that they are working on fundamental. I mean, as far as I know, they are working on fundamentals already, and there is a lot of stuff that is done over there. But I'm not sure because I think if I hear Chavan, then he said that the fundamental scanners will be live at a later stage. Okay, so if that would be the case, then I don't know. I mean, when can we launch it? Will it be immediate? Will it be later? I'm not sure about that. So I mean, let's see. Chavan will try to communicate, and our social media team also will try to communicate. So let's see. But I'm not sure. At some point of time, we are going to bring it. That is for sure. When, I can't comment because I mean, as much as you all wanted, that is what I mean. We also need it because now we have also started giving out calls. It will only make our life easy in that sense. So even we want it as soon as possible, basically. So let's see. So I think these are the questions that were there today. Are leading private sector banks like ICICI Bank breaking down? I would tend to think so because they are trading below the daily, weekly averages, which is never a good sign. So surely, things are not that great on the private banks sector side. And in fact, even if you see the Bank Nifty index, I mean, Bank Nifty index has done pretty well, but not the private banks. So in that sense, it is telling you that the private banks are weak, and mostly the move is led by the PSU banks. So let's see. I mean, I'm not sure, but charts already are pretty weak. So I mean, that's how we are placed at this point of time. सागर says कल रात से short किया है सिल्वर, क्या करूं? I mean, you should be happy. I am not sure. I mean, you must be a brave heart to short it, but see, the broader idea is that just keep trailing with the averages. I think you have been attending this session. By now, you would know what is the technique that we use. Just stick to that, and try to reap the benefit as much as possible. So Piyusha, I already told that PSU banks, while they are strong, but there is some sort of weakness that is surely visible over there. So need to be a little careful. So broadly, the trend has not changed, but there is some weakness that is definitely visible. So you need to keep a very close eye on how the movement is. Okay. So I think that's it from my side. We'll wind up the session for today, and let's catch up tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow. I'll see if we can do this session on budget day. Else we'll meet on Monday. Okay. So once again, thanks a lot for joining, and let's catch up either on Sunday or on Monday. We will let you know through the social media. Okay, whether we are going to keep it on Sunday or not. So thank you and see you. Happy weekend.